Hey, this is Cal McCarthy. You're listening to the Unbelievers podcast.
There were several groups. One of the principal ones was the reptilians from the Orion complex.
Without any exaggeration, it was like being on fire inside.
Rats were eating you up inside.
This stuff was in my mouth. It felt like it was 500 degrees. It was unbelievably hot.
My first question would be, were you a member of the Church of Satan, a card-carrying member of the Church of Satan?
I don't understand.
There's always an argument for everything. You know, just because somebody can fake something doesn't necessarily mean it's
born, we found a life form. And that's when I started shitting my pants.
So for the person who called, I am carrying an alien.
An alien baby, we cover it right here, okay?
Okay.
Something is happening. What is it? That's the question. So do UFOs exist? It depends on what you mean exist.
Area 51, the infamous top-secret military facility located in the Nevada desert, where many have alleged is home to back-engineered UFOs and even live alien beings. For decades, civilians have flocked to this remote area to investigate the skies above the base, attempt to get past the gates, and some brave souls have gone so far as to move into the nearby town of Rachel. It is these individuals we will be discussing tonight as the Unbelievers podcast continues this 1990s documentary kick as we follow the exploits of two UFO buddies who try and find out what's really going on with Area 51, man? So join us for a unique, harrowing, heartwarming, and oftentimes hilarious profile of the culture and folklore of the residents and visitors of the little alien-loving town of Rachel. It is time for Alien Highway. Right here in the program, we continue to learn to unlearn everything you know. Hello and welcome to the Unbelievers podcast. I'm Russ Ryan, and joining me tonight is TV's Brendan Shay. Hello, Brendan.
Hello.
And joining us, special third Rob seat tonight is Pete McCarthy. What's up, Peter?
Hey now.
All right, what is going on, guys? Glad to have you here in the depths of summer, road trip time summer. Pete, you going on any road trips this summer?
I did. I actually took a nice trip up to the Pocono Mountains. It was a wonderful little excursion. We had a wonderful dinner. We walked through the hills and dales and the trees and valleys. I did have an incident where I suspected a Bigfoot might abscond me from the bushes, but lo and behold, it was a lowly chipmunk. So I cleaned the poop up from on the back of my legs. And then proceeded back to the room in shame and horror.
All right. Well, that sounds like you're having a fun summer. Yes, Pete's here. We're having fun. Brendan's loving this. But yes, road trip time is upon us because tonight we're doing some weird thing. We're going to go down the Alien Highway. Yeah, damn right. Hitchhike love. Yes, that is something you might experience on the Alien Highway, which we will be discussing tonight. Imagine that, Brendan, an entire highway that belongs to aliens. We've come a long way as a planet.
Sounds like we need to probe it.
There will be a lot of probing tonight, and some longtime listeners might be probing for themselves and saying, is this like part 2 or something? Because I'm pretty sure you guys covered Alien Highway before. Well, yes and no. We were asked long ago to cover this thing called Alien Highway, and we did. Remember that show with Chuck and Dan Zukowski, along with the great Heather Taddy? It follows their exploits investigating accounts of UFOs and aliens along America's Alien Highway. We remember this show. So when they show up, they figure out that a bunch of crazy alien activity is going on, and then they just split on to the next town like it's kung fu.
You talking about the wandering Earth with the power of kung fu to help the downtrodden?
Right, but without the helping. That's what Alien Highway was, where they would show up at someone's house. And there's a lot of shows like this where they show up at someone's house and they find out a lot of weird stuff's going on. They say, well, nice knowing you. Moving on to the next town.
Just peacing out. Just saying, hey, fuck it. You're on your own. We stirred them up for you.
And I enjoyed that episode. I enjoyed the show Alien Highway. It's always a pleasure covering a Heather Taddy joint. Unfortunately, That was not the alien highway that was suggested to us by a friend of the show, Taylor Nelson. What he was actually suggesting is the 2013 documentary Alien Highway, which is quite different, as we're going to find out in the description, filmed over several years of two UFO buffs on their own personal search for the truth. Alien Highway is about the people whose passionate obsession created a unique cultural phenomenon that flourished for a time in an obscure little community that happens to exist on the border of America's Twilight Zone. So this is the tale of two guys on their great journey of discovery in the 90s. I will add, this was all filmed in the 90s, much like last week's St. Francisville experiment. Michael Dale Brown and Roger Mexico.
Great names. Roger Mexico really got me right away. The mustache of Roger Mexico, very impressive. Looked like a push broom.
Yeah, they're both, and I did like Michael Dale Brown kept reminding me of John Goodman, like a John Goodman character. He was his partner in this. It's basically a road trip with Roger Mexico and this guy Mike Brown. So we checked it out, and I was taken in right away with this cold open to Alien Highway.
When I was 9 years old, I went with my parents to a place in the California desert called Giant Rock Airport, where flying saucers were said to have landed. It was a gathering place for believers in such things, and they spoke of taking rides in Venusian starships and of aliens who wore loose-fitting sweatsuits. They frightened me, and I guess they were crazy. But I've often wondered if, in teetering on the edge of insanity, they hadn't actually reached a sort of enlightenment. After years of avoiding further contact with the fringe dwellers, I am now in the desert again, with my friend Mike, a student of saucer lore, on the way to a place he describes as the new Giant Rock, the new UFO Mecca.
It's the area where the rumors are that the government is test flying either recovered flying saucers or flying saucers that they have built themselves, back engineered from alien technology.
We're certainly in UFO country now. I had a dream once in which these kind of jellyfish objects appeared off the coast, and I'm standing on the beach, and they sort of gently descend onto the sand in front of me, and then a being came out of one of these devices and addressed me as Kuluban.
Kuluban! So yes.
Kuluban.
Yep.
So this Kuluban is a.k.a. filmmaker and main hero, Roger Mexico, who we mentioned that we heard there, and his buddy Mike Brown, a fellow UFO guy, a buff, and a filmmaker. And hey, there was some of this.
We cannot see the jellyfish from satellites. So,
but we can see them in our dreams, and they might call us Kuluban. I love that.
I want to address this friend of his, this Mike guy who's doing the driving. First, I'd like to say, great hairstyle. The video is so old, his glasses have actually come back into fashion. And speaking of fashion, that Kmart Route 66 t-shirt is just to die for.
These guys are great. And this was two guys who filmed this on their own in the 90s about multiple trips out here to where we're going to find out, this America's Twilight Zone, where there is one last bit to this intro, though, where Roger Mexico shows off some of his voiceover skill, which I found very impressive.
I'm really not sure if I'm ready for these forays into the land of sky mystics. There's an aura of paranoia out here. Somewhere over those hills they used to test atom bombs. And I have a sense that even now I can feel the fallout wafting across the highway.
Yep.
Which way's the wind blowing?
We're here.
Wow, bravo, Mexico. This is a setup that it's almost like very heartfelt and it's some life-affirming doc or affirming something. And it made me think of the Wonder Years. Remember the voiceover in the Wonder Years?
It's very wistful.
Wafting.
With a touch of wanderlust.
It's like a touch of nostalgia in it, as if it's Stand By Me or something. And I know Wonder Years, and Wonder Years is definitely a very dated reference, but there were these very sincere voiceover narrations, like in the Christmas Story movie. I thought this was Ron Howard, who was on the Wonder Years. Sorry, this little, guy who played Opie and everything. It is not. It's actually Daniel Stern, the Wet Bandit. He was the guy on Wonder Years. Anyway, this is what I'm saying Mexico sounds like from Wonder Years.
The Wet Bandit.
I went down to the big climbing tree in Harper's Woods. I didn't admit it to myself until years later, but in my mind was the shadow of a thought that Winnie might be there. She was sort of hugging herself and rocking slowly back and forth. There was a bit of a chill in the air, and she didn't have a sweater.
Winnie, put a damn sweater on. It's the 1960s outside.
I had no idea. I had no idea that was Daniel Stern doing that narrating.
It was. I thought Ron Howard was like contractually obligated to do all like nostalgic voiceovers for things. I was wrong. Daniel Stern is in there. Now you can't unhear it. Sorry, that's just a tangent. Back to the Alien Highway. So this intro leads up to them approaching the famous Groom Road that leads to, at the time, the alleged Area 51. So they go down to Mailbox Road, then they go down Groom Road, to be clear. They make it very clear to you watching where they're doxing this place immediately. It gets intense out of the gate, though, when they spot big dust trails in the distance. And we have Mike on the scene with this report. What's going on, Mike?
You see two converging trails of dust, like two cars racing toward each other from different roads. We don't quite know what to make of it.
If there are aliens over the ridge cohabitating with Air Force personnel, Mike wants to know.
It could be their private security force, Wackenhut. They call them camo dudes for their camouflage fatigues.
Whoa, did you say Wackenhut?
Wackenhut. You know what? Wackenhut, like, shit, they're always like the security for all these, like, black project companies that are doing all this government behind-the-scenes work. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. You've done shows about certain things dealing with, like, Derenberger and all that. So you went this crazy long rabbit hole where it ended up.
It could be their private security force, Wackenhut.
Wackenhut is ridiculous of a name for a security force. It is. It's actually quite fun. I'll call them this, though. I'll stick with it. Did you say camel dudes?
They call them camo dudes for their camouflage fatigues.
Okay, for their
How did they even see him?
He's seeing dust. All he sees is dust. He's like, "Whoa, is that Wackenhut?" And
they call them camo dudes for their camouflage fatigues.
They're like GI Joes. Yeah, they're the army guy. We call them camo dudes. Whoa, cool.
Camo dudes. Watch out for the camo dudes.
So they keep going down the Groom Road. They even pass a sign that says "No more filming," which they acknowledge that they are breaking by doing this. They're like, "All right, we are filming right now. We just saw a sign." They make it all the way to the point of no return, the real sign out in the desert, the one they are hoping will say that they will be murdered by the government if they proceed further. That's when you know you've gotten far. Is this the sign they are looking for?
What's this one say? The first one, can you read it?
Restricted area. No trespassing beyond this point. Warning. Nellis bombing and gunner. Off limits to unauthorized personnel. I still don't see anything about lethal. It is unlawful to enter this area without permission of the installation. While on this installation, okay, it doesn't say anything about you'll be shot.
Was this a veiled suicide attempt by Wackenhut? It's like he seems let down. It's like, oh, man, we're not even going to get shot.
You're not going to get whacked in the hut.
Okay, it doesn't say anything about you'll be shot.
So, I mean, at this point, I think to myself, like, whoa, appearances be deceiving. We got ourselves a couple of badasses here because they're rolling up to this sign like a couple of BAs.
They are.
But, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to play out.
Coming out of the desert like they are, like, kind of like, I would say, a little kind of schlubby, almost middle-aged dudes at the time going out there, like,
Yo, they're probably in their 30s.
Yeah, it was a different time. It was the 90s.
It was different times. People looked like hell back then. Like, I was saying that to my wife. I'm like, old people used to look like old people. So now they don't, So, yeah, those dudes are probably in their 30s.
that is true. That is 100% true.
This was the 90s, though. I think we're pretty sure we were all alive during this.
Yeah, we were, but I mean, we were eating all kinds of Biggie size and frozen dinners. I mean, Hot Pockets were introduced. I mean, come on, these guys are probably sucking. I mean, you're telling me this Mike guy, his Kmart T-shirt doesn't live off of Hot Pockets?
Nah, man, these guys, they're doing all right. But
Cheetos
doing all right. Yeah, by doing all right means the mozzarella meatball, and he's doing like King Arthur.
They're out there doing their thing. They've made it all the way. They've made it further than I have. They're at the gate. They're not going to be shot, which is a bummer. Lethal force or not, Roger and Mike decide it's time to leave, and they end up getting into a harrowing chase scene in their car against the forces of dust.
Mike, there's dust coming from just beyond the ridge.
Oh. We're getting the hell out of here because as we were there, Steve spotted dust coming towards us. So we figured that maybe they're sending a vehicle after us. So we're going to try and get the fuck out of here. Here it comes. I'm stepping on it.
Well, maybe you shouldn't.
Well, let's see.
Just take it easy. I mean, don't.
Okay,
You're admitting guilt or something here.
Okay, if they pull us over.
Well, just say where we came to the UFO. We stopped at the sign.
Yes,
we didn't go beyond the sign.
Beyond the sign.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, a likely story. Oh, we're just from the UFO nerd meetup, and we decided to, trespass on top secret government property. You'll probably get off with a warning.
My God, everything about that is so fucking fantastic. They start screaming dust, dust, like Mr. Clean's gonna fly out of the sky and fucking save them. And they describe this dust like the nothing from the never-ending story, like it's consuming everything behind him. It is so great. The one dude has urinated. He must have, because he's acting like he has urinated himself from fear of this dust.
Maybe it was like Tremors or Dune or something.
Yeah, like I'm going to give credit where credit's due. I'm not about to go rolling out in the desert in the middle of the 90s. They don't have cell phones. They don't have GPS. These dudes are raw dogging it. They got maps.
They got a camera. Yeah, at least
that's a camera. Like, they probably don't have no water. They probably don't have any gas. Like, they're just out there. Like, they got nothing but each other. So, like, kudos to them for doing that in the first place. But yeah, it's crazy. When the dust shows up, holy shit.
I mean,
it could be their private security force, Whacking Hut.
They don't know. They don't know. They know they're not going to get shot. But they are here. But Roger Mexico, he's not having a good time here. And I kind of feel bad, but not really. Let's hear some more from the dust chase.
Turn it on.
Turn it on?
Turn it on yourself.
It is on myself. I'm scared. I don't know who these people are coming behind us. Huh?
Is the camera on?
Yes, it's on.
Running.
It's running.
Turn it on yourself.
It's on myself. Watch out. Watch out here.
Right now, Steve.
I'm scared. I think just keep driving well, and I don't think we broke any laws. We went to the sign, and we're curious, and we were part of the UFO weekend. Yes. We mean no harm.
No. I'll just toy along here. That's right.
That's right.
If it wants to catch us, it's going to catch us.
Are they still behind us?
I don't know. I think it does. But I saw a flash back there before.
Yeah, right.
Man, there's almost too much action for these two mild-mannered UFO buffs.
These dudes are running from ghosts. There's nothing behind them. There's probably a sand squall or something was kicked up by the wind, and they're hightailing out there like the Dukes of Hazzard. It is out of control.
I love it. I love it, though. But they do manage to escape, though. Thank God. Or this would be a very, very short Alien Highway movie where these guys just show up and get killed. I wanted to ask earlier, has anyone, they're all looking for like lethal force. Do you think anyone has ever shot at Area 51? I've never looked. Has any UFO guy ever been shot and gone missing because he was poking around Area 51?
Would you really ever know?
You wouldn't know, yeah.
Yeah, if you're one of these guys and you're like, you're part of this community, as we're going to find out, there's a lot of people out in this area that like to go poking their noses around Area 51 all the time, of course.
Dude, nope. Whacking Hut doesn't tell their secrets.
Yeah, dude. If these guys got caught, they were going to hold them down and beat them off.
Which dudes?
They call them camo dudes.
Oh, those guys.
Yeah, those guys.
Camel dudes. They're coming for you. So, wow, what an intro segment. And, it can only go downhill from here, but maybe not. Let's find out. So we are then taken to the small town of Rachel, Nevada, which is the actual focus of this documentary. It's not all action. And we meet our first Rachelite, who tells us about how aliens became a thing in this very small desert town. There was a time where this area was not known for aliens, and there are some old folks who remember those times, but who cares about them?
Hi, my name is Mary Merrier, and I'm in Rachel, Nevada, and we're a few miles from Area 51, and I first learned about Area 51 from the Billy Goodman Happening.
In 1989, Billy Goodman's late-night Las Vegas radio talk show was the first exposure most people had to the strange goings-on in Area 51.
And I say hello, and hello to you. Welcome into your Billy Goodman Happening, the only scientific spiritual happening anywhere in the entire universe. I used to get phone calls from people who worked at Area 51 and related stories to us. Some of them were horror stories, such as that they had alien in captivity, such as there were flying saucers on this base at Area 51.
Wow. So this is our first Rachel people here. We had Mary Merrier, another great name already. And this Billy Goodman, he's a very Art Bell-esque host. I don't know much about him. He's even closer to the action than Art, it seems.
I must say, Mary Merrier, I was very jealous of her windbreaker. It is a classic of 90s fashion. They just don't make them like that anymore. That thing breaks wind right in half. It's such quality construction. So really good stuff on her behalf. So jealousy. The people of Rachel, Nevada seem to be a really unique bunch. Everybody marches to the beat of their own drum.
Yeah, and the drum seems to be being beat by this Billy Goodman guy kind of early, like in this whole Nevada area. Billy Goodman was kind of their like local Art Bell, but this would even predate Art Bell when she's talking about. This was like the 80s and stuff. This guy, and he seemed to have like a spiritual alien type show. He's given a lot of credit as one of the early people to kind of get the Area 51 story even talked about and to get it to the level where it is now. But for those unfamiliar with Rachel, Nevada, this town is home to the Little Alien Inn. This is the famous alien-themed hotel and convenience station located 140 miles northwest of Las Vegas and 13 miles north of Area 51. This is the closest to the action you're going to get. It's really iconic at this point. It's owned by a woman named Pat Travis, and this is the place that is hosting the meetup that Roger mentioned in that opening chase. Remember, he was like, we could just tell them we're from the UFO thing and they'll leave us alone. But this is why the Little Alien was doing these meetups in the 90s, these UFO great meetups. And the people in this meetup are great, just pure UFO weirdos. And, I mean, they got everything. There's an ambassador to the Saucerians who looks like Mojo Nixon. You got an artist named Marcus Pizzuti who is painting the alien gas station sign while seriously discussing Bob Lazar and Papoose Lake. There's some great scenes early on like that. And there's a place of many sightings around this area. And we meet someone named Mark Farmer, a.k.a. Agent X. And there are people of all stars and stripes interviewed in this. We've got a lot of clips to play. It's great. I kind of wish I was there for all of this. Everything. They got truckers, blackjack dealers, campers. Everyone at this weird thing has got a piece of the puzzle, this whole realm of Area 51. Even Jordan Maxwell chimes in, R.I.P. And one guy who they don't name, claims that they witnessed a ship that looked like a, quote, Crown Royal cap in the beginning of it, which I'm pretty sure a Crown Royal cap is just a crown. So immediately going to the booze reference made me not believe this person. I was like, all right, this guy's a drunk. If I'm wrong, isn't the Crown Royal cap just a crown?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't drink enough Crown Royal. No,
Yeah,
this
me
person
neither.
obviously does. I thought it was just a crown. I just thought it was a fun way early on to kind of get a feel for these people. And there's a whole long montage of people describing different sightings in the area. It's confusing to hear in audio form here, but a couple of them describe it with sound effects. And man, I am a sucker for sound effects, and especially when they're made by people in Rachel, Nevada.
And about that time, a car came up over the rise, and this thing was like people flipping switches. These lights went out, and then the little red ball went out, and there was nothing but stars.
And at the end of it, then
boom, they came together in a circle, boom, and then instantaneously blew out like a bomb, boom, boom, into a 7-pointed star kind of thing.
Boom, boom,
and
boom.
then came down low and followed us and began to hopscotch each other and play games as they were following us all the way back out to the highway.
Yeah, so there's a lot of compelling first-hand accounts with audio descriptions. And yeah, we get it. This is UFO Central. We get to see so many people in the beginning of this. I did have to clip him because he said,
boom, boom, blew out like a bomb. Boom, boom.
All right, I'm going to cut that together to make it sound cooler, but sorry.
Boom, boom, blew out like a bomb. Boom, boom.
Could make a beat out of that guy, maybe.
It reminded me of I think that's Walk the Dinosaur, isn't it?
Somebody will have to put that together for us, like, open the door, get on the
phone. Blew out like a bomb.
Everybody walk the dinosaur.
There you go.
Shaka like a boom.
So we get to meet a lot more interesting people after this too, and one of the most interesting is a guy named Ambassador Merlin II from the North Star Alpha Draconis is featured in this, and he's a pretty important guy in this. He lobbied the Nevada legislature to designate Area 51 as an official ET base. This guy, dubbed Merlin, he really is the kind of gets a ball rolling in this whole thing of Rachel, Nevada, of like getting legislature and government to recognize this place and get official, to make an official alien highway and stuff like that. So I will say He did successfully lobby the government, but we're going to get into that. And I'm going to say props to Bob Price for making that whole thing happen later. But I know that a listener, there is that sign that exists now, the extraterrestrial highway. I know a listener has put an Unbelievers podcast sticker on there, on one of those signs. So props to you. If I had the props, I'd play it right now. But so getting that highway officially named, that is pretty impressive, especially considering that the majority of UFO folk in this area mostly sound like this lady, Lori Ireland. This is a true UFO believer.
So what is it I'm looking for?
The big Syrian motherships, and they're in the clouds.
Now, how can you tell that their ships are out there?
They were just talking to me. You can't miss it.
Did they say we're here, look for us? Or?
No, they just said hi, and I said, oh, hi. I was, fooling around the car, and I went, oh, hi, guys, you're here. We're here. That's it. It's simple. It's very simple.
Oh, no, I get it. Syrian motherships are talking to you. It's simple, right?
It's simple as fucking pie. Dude, if I may take a step back, I just want to give honorable mention to Ambassador Merlin of the North Star Alpha Draconians. I did make some notes. I was really impressed by him just off the jump, and to find out how influential he was in, bothering legislators. I would like to say I had a really initial assessment of him that stuck with me, and I think it's going to resonate later. So, Russ, get your sound effects ready for this one. When I saw that guy's face, I knew this is the face of a man who loves to eat pussy.
He comes across as I will say, if you think of like a rockabilly rock starish UFO dude of the 90s who's got a pentagram around his neck, he looks like Mojo Nixon. I said earlier, he looks like Mojo Nixon, and Mojo Nixon I know is into UFOs too. He's probably a huge fan, very influenced by him, but he compared to Lori Ireland or whatever, Merlin the Ambassador definitely has his shit together. He's not saying stuff like, oh, do I have it? Please. Oh, yeah, I do.
Hi, guys. You're here.
Yeah.
We're here. That's it.
That's it. All right, fine. Actually, I did have props. Props to Merlin already.
That lady crazy in his shithouse rat. I made notes about her too because she's talking about the Syrian motherships in the clouds. And she's talking to the dude like, what? You can't see them, asshole? Like
they're talking now.
There.
Right, and she's in this movie for a minute and a half. That's it. And when you introduce all these people in this, it's great. I'm like, I want to know everyone in Rachel. Maybe I want to move there. But so they also talked a whole slew of different abductees, most of which I've never heard of, but their stories do line up with pretty much all other abductions. So legit. And even Pat, the owner of the Little Alien, claims to have a little alien that follows her around. And this alien's name, Archibald.
Archibald is little reticulin gray?
I believe so, and I think he stays cloaked most of the time, but he helps the owner of the little alien. And she claims that he saved her from hitting two black bulls on the alien highway by whispering into her ear to slow down. So, again, great work, Archibald. That's a hero alien friend.
How does that song go? Hey, pretty baby, let me whisper in your ear.
There's two black bulls coming up your rear or whatever. So something like that. But she avoided, she saved these bulls' lives. Archibald saved these lives. Great work, Archibald. And following Misha Johnson, the contactee, this is what kind of happens next. They follow a contactee named Misha Johnson to the dry lake bed, Groom Lake area, because someone had a vision of a portal. So this is like very standard UFO meetup stuff. A lot's going on. So then we learn about a man named Glenn Campbell. And this is not the musician Glenn Campbell of the song Galveston fame and the Beach Boys. This is Glenn Campbell, UFO activist, who many claim is responsible for the folklore of the area. He would invite the media out to the area. He was very interested in a place called the Black Mailbox, or the mystical Black Mailbox. And this is a spot out in the desert, close to Area 51. It's a black mailbox. And if you go there on a Wednesday night, there's a certain spot there where you can see all kinds of UFO activity. So this mailbox is like revered. They show people literally getting on their knees and praying in front of the thing for UFOs. And Roger Mexico and Mike Brown, they make a trip to this area. This area is called Tickaboo Valley. And they come across something that gets mentioned quite a bit on this show, so we couldn't skip it.
It's a dead cow.
I'll say.
right alongside the road, so one might assume that a car might have hit it, but then you never know. I wonder if its rectum has been cored out.
I'm sorry?
Well, you know, in cattle mutilations, they core the rectums out, they take the tongue, they take its sexual organs.
Is there a way of determining whether that has been done?
Not at this stage, I don't think.
Yeah.
This has been here a while.
Yeah, mutilated cows are like the fourth member of this podcast. They're featured so much in everything. It's like, but this moment was funny for me. This felt like a scene from like a Christopher Guest movie. The way it's, because you know this isn't actually scripted. It's just the way Roger Mexico interacts with people. He's very just takes everything.
He's socially awkward.
He's great. I like him a lot.
Yeah, so do I.
Russ, I promise you something. Let's say you and me are walking down the highway in the desert and we find a cow. The first thing I'm going to say to you is, you know, Russ, I wonder if his asshole's missing.
Oh, I wonder if its rectum has been cored out.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm sorry. Then I might be like,
Hi, guys, you're here.
okay,
well, we all know where radioactivity settles.
yeah, exactly. Rectums are coming. It is funny that Roger Mexico seems floored by that, and maybe not everyone was hip to cow rectums in the 90s like we are at this point. But he's like, how would you even know that? He's like, well, I guess you can't tell at this stage if his rectum's gone. It's like, what do you mean? You're looking at the cow. Is his rectum there or not? I don't know how.
He's been there too long. He's not fresh. You can't tell.
He's a rectum, damn near killed him.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, it doesn't say anything about you'll be shot.
So then we get to see them head back out to Groom Road, where Glenn Campbell knows this area very well. He even shows how to find the motion detectors and disable them. This guy's almost like, he runs like this guy, Glenn Campbell. He has like this Area 51 kind of science labby kind of place. And when he takes these guys out in the desert, he knows where motion detectors are, and he shows these guys how to disable them. Like he's like, you basically drive over motion detectors in the desert, you figure out what frequency they run on, so then you can find them. It's like a video game almost. And then they would find them, and they would pull. And he's like, well, you think you could do this? You just take the power source off, and then you can sneak around this desert all you want. Like, I was like, whoa, like this guy. I'm like, this guy. They might not be shooting people. They might shoot you if you keep going to do this. This might actually be some kind of actual threat.
He's definitely a character out of an action movie. He's got the gadgets. He's got the skills. He's like, you want to get into the alien highway? I know a guy. You know? And he's the guy that shows up. He's like, I got a calculator.
Thanks to this guy, it's harder now to break in because they're more high tech now because he showed everybody how to disable the stuff on camera.
Right. It became an arms race between the UFO nerds and Area 51. We're like, well, we just have like pop-up lasers now. We'll just fry you. Now, you know, they've had to just keep it like, we have the alien technology. You're driving a Jeep over us and cutting the wires like it's a Mad Max game or something. But so they don't say it in this, but the second half of this doc, it seemed like it was filmed a year later. We get to see a nice change of everyone's hairstyle. It switches around between years. And once again, we get to see the big UFO meetup in Rachel. And Roger Mexico, he's got a full beard now. I know you like that handlebar mustache, Pete. For a little while, he had the full beard. The other guy still looks like John Goodman. Or for any Smiling Friends fan, he looks like President Jimble, Mike Bichetti. If anyone's watching that show, that'll give you a little visual of Mike in this. And a lot of the scenes take place inside the Little Alien, which I love. I've never been there. I know some listeners have been there. And this was at the peak of UFO-ness, where all these top names and weirdos, they gather to discuss UFOs and the government and smoke cigarettes. It's fantastic. I wish I was in there smoking with these guys. And about this Little Alien, what's the story behind that?
We've just started our 7th year of owning the Little Alien. Of course, originally it was called the Rachel Bar and Grill. One night late, we hadn't been open terribly long, and this man came in and said he had heard about our place on the radio, on the Billy Goodman happening. After that, George Knapp came out and did the UFO Best Evidence, and we were included in that. Of course, the publicity makes it great. From the Billy Goodman happening to Larry King Live, which is coming up soon. We couldn't ask for this. We couldn't afford to ever come close to paying for this kind of publicity.
Yeah, wow. I would theme my diner, too, if it meant getting on Larry King. He'd come over to your place and be like...
That looks like that's E.T.
He would be so excited.
Perfect.
Gotta love this. I didn't know she was on Larry King. But yeah, this should just start as a kind of a simple local diner. And once this folklore, you've got this radio host, you've got people going out there already investigating constantly. It's a very, very small population in this area. And it's mostly people who are out there doing this. So it's like, yeah, I guess we theme the one gas station in as the little alien. And it's awesome. I really want to go there.
I don't know if I'd be comfortable there after the sun went down. I'd be worried about the locals more than the aliens.
They seem all right. One lady has claimed, she's like, there's like 0 drugs in this town. And I actually believed her. I'm like, you'd probably know. I think you guys know everyone in town. And maybe you would know.
Town without drugs is a town I don't want to be in.
I guess so. So another fascinating fellow that's introduced is a man named Bill Hewhouse, who was recruited into a project in the 1950s flying in a UFO simulator at Area 51. And this is alien technology, and it is controlled by the mind, but it's very hard for humans to do. So he has to just do the simulator, the mind simulator. He even says himself, he's like, I was in this project in the 50s. I flew simulators. If I try to use my mind to fly a real UFO, I would fly into the side of a mountain. Those were his words.
So it's kind of like pod racing.
Mind racing? No, if you could sit at home and do it, I don't know, what's that, Ready Player One style or something. Yeah.
Now that's what I call pod racing. Cowboy.
So yeah, but it's not though. He just has to stay in the simulator. But he did have contact with aliens while in this program, and we're going to hear about that now.
During the course of his experiences, he met one of the aliens that was an advisory scientist on the project.
If I had a problem and I needed help or something, they brought, say, this guy Trad in.
This guy's name is Trad?
Trad, yeah.
After seeing the poster that Mr. Hewhouse did of Trad and the report about Area 51 and other similar areas, government bases, I went over to Mr. Hewhouse's place in Las Vegas and told him that I would like to meet Trad. This is a picture of Trad from a UFO magazine.
He's a scientist.
He's a scientist?
He's like a PhD, or higher than a PhD. As a matter of fact, he's super PhD.
Really?
Compared to our PhD.
Mr. Hewhouse said that I would succeed and that Trad would indeed reveal himself to me, and I think it was on March 3rd that Trad did reveal himself to me.
I just want to know, that is Merlin speaking right here. Well, before I'll finish the clip, that is Merlin Moore, ambassador of the aliens.
Shake hands or anything like that?
Never shook hands.
Never touched him? You actually have conversations. Like, all your conversations were about what
technical stuff.
So you didn't chat?
No chat.
Yeah. No lunch.
No lunch.
Yeah, no lunch. This was Trad the alien. So this is the man Hewhauser who claims he was in alien simulators and he met this guy Trad who was not only a PhD, a super PhD.
Super PhD.
Dude, it's like Wile E. Coyote, super genius, dude. Like,
it is like that. That dust was Roadrunners earlier. That's what's going on in this desert.
I bet this dude had big veins in his head like garden hoses, and when he thought they were like twitch.
I mean, Trad, no, they show Trad, and Trad looks like a very Trad alien. It's very like, oh, that's just an alien. There's nothing very special about Trad.
Yeah. I'm confused earlier when the lady was going through the book of different alien close-ups. She had a lot of pictures of aliens.
Yeah, she had some cool ones. Trad is definitely not one of those. Trad is very boring. He's very smart. He's a nerd. He's like being
alien. A real Trad.
I know. No lunch for Trad, all business. You don't go have lunch for Trad. So then we meet yet another fascinating individual, a woman named Kathleen Ford, who is best known for photographing invisible aliens at the black mailbox. Yes, you heard that right. And after this fun-filled day of lively discussion and speculation, the night finally rolls in on this big UFO day, and our heroes, they head back to where else? The mystical black mailbox, where they meet up with a bus full of UFO chasers who are, I guess, there for something, and they go meet them at this mailbox, and they are hell-bent on finding the best vantage point to see a UFO. It's like, we came all the way out here for this trip. Where's the best place to see this? So this group is led by a woman named Melinda Leslie, and the group starts actually seeing strange lights, and then one of these lights gets a little too close for comfort.
This is where the action is now.
Oh, I just saw something.
Look at there, it goes up in the air. Oh my God.
Wait a minute.
What is that?
Right there, right there. Look. I know, I see
Is it on the ground?
I don't know.
That's
like a
security.
Shit, it's a camo dude.
We're screwed.
Camo dudes.
I'm not kidding. Let's go. There's no to get out of here.
Kind of makes the heart flutter when they're coming at you with those lights.
Oh my God.
We're safe on the other side, right?
I think we're okay.
Two of them. One of them is smoking a cigarette.
I still think we should get out of here because they could take our cameras.
Oh, he's looking right at us. Calm down. Just calm down.
I mean, he's looking right at us through the binoculars.
Don't you think it might be time for us to skedaddle?
No, let's moon him. Yeah, these sound like a bunch of teens like getting busted drinking at Makeout Point. It's like you guys are all in your 50s. They're like, oh my God, I think he's smoking a cigarette. I think Obama's one. I don't know.
Oh, it kind of makes your heart flutter when they come at you with them flashlights.
And they did mention again. They do say, no, wait, not that. Oh, sorry. Hold on, wrong thing. Where do they say it again? They mentioned the camo dudes. I know that. I was very surprised.
They call them camo dudes.
Yeah, they're still calling them camo dudes.
So I'm a little confused from the film. Do they meet these bus people, or did they arrange to meet them?
So I think they go out to the mailbox, and yeah, I think this is all. I think it was just the people from the inn that did.
Is there actually a mailbox?
Yes, there is a black mailbox at this part. We do hear the fate of it later on in this, but. That black mailbox, yeah, it's like a mystical spot. It's like you have to go there on the way to the sign where...
Okay, it doesn't say anything about you'll be shot.
So that was kind of the big excitement at the end. Turns out it did actually go downhill after that opening action sequence. But they are visited by a bona fide celebrity in ufology the morning after this whole incident getting busted by security-like teens. They get to see Bob Lazar. Yes, a young 1990s Bob Lazar looking fabulous in a white turtleneck and his signature glasses. And I know most of us are familiar, I'm sure, with Bob Lazar. But let's hear how Mike describes him and his visit to the Little Ailey Inn.
This fellow who's going to be speaking here today is Robert Lazar, who is this physicist who claims to have worked at Papoose Lake, south of Area 51, back engineering the power propulsion system for recovered crashed flying saucers so that the government could then figure out how they worked and build their own.
If you see that photograph or that illustration that Bob Lazar's got, that's pretty accurate. Really? Yeah, that's very accurate, as a matter of fact.
The difference between Lazar and your typical liar is that he does not embellish his tale. It stays constant over time. It's extremely disciplined and restrained. He doesn't say he saw any aliens. He just said he worked with some hardware, and this is a very limited amount of things that he saw, and he will not go beyond that, and that counts as in his favor.
Yeah, Bob Lazar, to them, very credible. He doesn't even have an invisible alien buddy or an alien name like Kukulkan or whatever he was. None of these aliens he knows have super PhDs. He just, Bob Lazar is the GOAT to them. They're like, wow. And he does look like almost like a cult leader in this with a white turtleneck.
You could tell by his voice in the beginning when he was talking about it. He was like, Bob Lazar. He's all excited.
I gotta say, I was watching this part with my wife, and like before it had come up, I was like, all this radio show Nevada stuff is interesting. What was his name, Bob Goodman stuff. But like, what about Bob Lazar? I said, and my wife's like, oh, I've heard that name before. What was his deal? And then Bob Lazar came up in the movie. I was like, oh, this is great. Here he is. So Bob Lazar's doing this. I don't want to ruin anything, so cut this out if you need to. But he's doing his little MASH tent speech. They got the MASH tent set up in the desert, and he's in there talking about his story. And then somebody yells, there's a UFO outside.
Yes, that's what we're about to play right now. While this is going on, the very brief segment, we see Bob Lazar addressing, it almost looks like the show Carnival, because he's under a tent speaking to all these weirdos, and all of a sudden this happens.
Two things. Do you think they'll ever release this information? And if they don't, how do you think it'll ever come out? Or will it be something like what you're doing?
Well, hopefully it's not this way. Hopefully there's going to be a release of information eventually, but it almost seems to me that they need a staged incident to get him off the hook. Take a flying saucer up in a C-130 and push it out the back and say, look, it crashed.
And you hear at the end, the guy said, hold on to something outside. So as soon as he is Bobby slays, they're like, Bobby. They're like, yeah, stage UFO. As soon as that happens, they all rush out of the tent because there is something. What was that up there, Pete?
That was some bullshit there, Russ. I think what was going on is they all wanted to play grab ass in the desert and point at the sky. So what you have is a classic case of a balloon or a trash bag in the wind. That's not a UFO. Like, it's just, come on, you're telling me the minute Bob Lazar is like, my UFO story is true. The guy's like, there's a UFO outside. Everybody runs outside, and they can't believe their eyes. Like, what is happening?
And it was a weather balloon. It was an actual weather balloon. I was like, I've seen maybe one in my life in real life, but there just happened to be one right there while Bob Lazar. It's like, they launched that thing, man.
Dust in the wind.
Don't talk about the dust. You're gonna trigger the guys. Be like,
shit, it could be the private security force, Wackenhut.
It's not Wackenhut, Mike. Calm down.
Gonna hold us down and whack our things.
But yeah, so there's somewhat of a conclusion to this. It seems like a lot of threads to wrap up the way they present this, but they give us the good news first, and we will hear it now from Ambassador to the Aliens, the hero of this, Merlin.
Well, as of yesterday, the 26th of May, 1995, the Assembly of the State of Nevada voted 40-0 to pass Assembly Bill 533, which designates State Highway 375 the extraterrestrial alien highway.
Today is the official opening of the extraterrestrial highway, and scores of spectators, UFO personalities, and the media are arriving by caravan from Las Vegas.
Mr. Neighbors in his news release says that this legislation is putting out the welcome mat for extraterrestrial visitors. So once this welcome mat is fully put out by the entire legislature and the governor makes an official invitation, then very common humanoid-looking beings, extraterrestrials that are already here, some of them will identify themselves that have been concealing their identity, and then others who look very odd, they will also be coming and visiting with us out in the open and in public.
All right, so that is a big win for Merlin and the aliens, basically everyone. You know, the alien highway is now official because this one guy kind of started this movement. Now the government officially recognizes it. And according to him, this means that, hey, if you're weird looking and you're an alien, you can come here and you're free. I don't know if that's actually happened, if they come forward, but that was the intention, it seems.
Well, from my understanding, if you have mutton chops, you petition the government to let aliens come here. And
it works.
Local government, apparently, because there's too much red tape if you go with the big guys. So great way to go with Nevada, because they already got aliens there to begin with. And then once they're approved, first the Luke Skywalker aliens show up because they look like people. And then later on, the Klingons arrive because they don't look so normal. That's what I'm picking up from this guy. So yeah, that's how it's going to work. Get your Pleiadians will be here first, and you won't even be able to tell.
I can remember around the time of this, like in the 90s, like seeing UFO magazines. It was a big deal. People had posted the pictures of the signs. Like, when this actually happened, like, there's an extraterrestrial highway and the aliens are welcome. I don't know if the aliens actually care that much, especially since there's a base that allegedly imprisons their own friends, like right there. Like, why are we going there? That's where you'll have all our stuff. You're going to fight us there? Like, why? Are you tricking us into coming here?
If they really wanted to trick them, they'd set up shop at those Nazca lines in Peru that look like birds and giants. Everybody knows the aliens did that.
Yeah, and you think this is kind of a joyous thing. They finally got this, named alien highway, the small town, a lot more tourism come in. You think it'd be joyous for all involved, but somehow, as always, Hollywood gets involved, and well, not everyone is happy.
As a publicity stunt for the upcoming alien invasion movie Independence Day, in which Area 51 is depicted, and as a promotion for the highway, the state has joined forces with 20th Century Fox to place a time capsule in Rachel. A press conference is being held inside a tent under tight security, and most of the hundreds of people here aren't being allowed in. Not even Ambassador Merlin, whose lobbying efforts started the whole thing.
Rachel gets exploded! Whose highway is it? Fox bought the highway! The governor sold the highway to Fox!
Glenn, what do you got against the ET highway?
No, the governor never consulted Rachel residents. He excluded everybody, damn it. He consulted with Fox. He sold the highway to Fox, goddammit. Come on, move.
Whoa. So
whoa.
During the build-up to the film Independence Day, Fox Studios decided to get involved in this whole naming of the highway, and they usurped the whole event. They wouldn't even let Merlin in. And it's so weird. You watch this. Jeff Goldblum's there. Bill Pullman or Paxton or whatever his name is from Independence Day. He's there. And they have a whole time capsule thing going on, and it's this big Hollywood photo op for Independence Day, and they didn't let Merlin and all the other weirdos from Sirius, they wouldn't let any of them in the tent at all. They were shut out. And they were mad. They were mad as hell. They weren't going to take it. They were saying stuff like,
He sold the highway to Fox, goddammit.
God damn it.
That music is perfect, too, in the background.
So hot under the collar.
And, it seemed like a win. Like, finally, the UFO guys had pulled something off, got something done, and Hollywood comes in, usurps the whole thing. It's kind of ridiculous. But then we get a quick final scene of our two main hosts who you get to know of this, Roger Mexico and Mike Brown, who leave us for now on this note.
Mike, I think this was a good weekend.
Yeah, I think it worked out very well. I'm very pleased with it. And I'm moving here.
As for me, I've come to realize that what I once feared about these people,
Rachel, Nevada, home of
I now embrace.
infinite possibility.
Those I once regarded as strange have become strangely familiar.
You took a bump here. You feel weak or anything?
Okay, we hit a cow. The car is bad off. As you can see, I'm probably bleeding. Can you see me in there?
Yeah.
The windshield, something went into the windshield.
Oh, look, your blood is on the windshield.
But the front of the car, maybe the cow.
This is what the bull's head hit.
There's the bull's blood. It pushed the steering wheel in on me.
Let me see you again. How are you, all right? Oh, God.
So, yes, this was kind of what happened to poor Mike. They ran into a cow. Mike got messed up. His head had a lot of blood on it. It was some of his blood, some bull blood. And it's kind of the sickest scene in this. They show the bull being dragged off the road by a chain on a truck. It was pretty gruesome.
Did it still have its anus?
Wait, what did he say about it? He said something about his rectum.
No, I wonder if its rectum has been cored out.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry.
Is there a way to find that out?
There might be. Maybe we can land an interview with either Roger Mexico or Mike Brown. That'd be good. But as you can hear at the end, though, that was Mike Brown's end, was that he hit a bull. But Roger Mexico is now a Rachel resident. So kind of a happy ending for him, where he ends up wanting to stay in there and stay there and live there.
That's where he belongs, I think.
He found his tribe. He's going to move in. And
he finally found his people after all this time.
Yeah.
And I thought that was... So he was right to do his Wonder Years kind of longing in the beginning. He wanted to live there the whole time. That was a spoiler. He was looking longingly at living out in the desert, like, I don't know, shooting rattlesnakes at night and looking for UFOs.
So, what started as this weird trip with his buddy down the desert road has turned into a real Steve Feltham situation. Now he's going to live among the people.
Yeah, and this was a long time ago, so he's been doing it for a very, very long time. And Roger is one of the few who has a happy ending here, as they start going down the line of all the older UFO heads that were featured in this, and they are, most of them, dead. Except the lady from the little alien. She is not. She is holding down the fort. And the final scene and clip for this evening, this might be the saddest death, because it is none other than Merlin, ambassador to the stars. Did the aliens take him away? The government killed him? What happened? Let's find out, and we're going to leave on this note.
The mission of first contact will be completed in 3 years when the Alpha Centaurians make their public contact on the extraterrestrial highway.
In 2001, the body of David Solomon, a.k.a. Ambassador Merlin II, was found in the desert behind a brothel where he had lain undiscovered for several weeks. Merlin had become a breatharian, convinced he could gain all the sustenance he needed from the air. He starved to death.
Dematerialization of the body and the interstellar travel in a flying saucer, and that I will be taking a trip like that at some point in the future, and that has yet to happen.
I wonder if he ever got that ride on a UFO.
And credits, man.
He got a ride on something behind that brothel.
The only thing that dude was eating was pussy. I'm telling you. Like,
you kind of called it. He was living off air and vaginal sustenance. He was living behind a brothel. And I didn't bother to look it up, but he said he was identified as a brotharian. Is that someone just hangs out at a brothel all the time?
No. He was a breatharian. Like when you guys did in Saint Germain, like all he was doing was sucking air.
I'm sorry. I thought he said he died behind a brothel and he was a brotharian. I'm like, brothel is a religion now?
I
sounds
thought
more
that for a
expensive.
second too. I thought that for a second too.
Those guys we still call those guys whoremongers.
No, this guy. So R.I.P. Ambassador Merlin, and those aren't spelled the same. It's Merlyn, Merlin. Like he's not a two-name guy. So yeah, that's how that kind of wow, what a ride. This thing. I want to say thanks to Taylor for suggesting this highly clippable classic Area 51 doc. That very clippable, lots of clips, a lot of work. Thank you, Taylor. But I got to ask you guys, I don't know what should the poll be for this? Like, what do you even do for this? We need something interesting.
Well, I think it's kind of weird that Merlin was dead behind that brothel for weeks before anybody found him. So how about the poll should be, did anybody love Merlin?
Right. Or what happened to Merlin? Maybe we can come up with a couple of fun scenarios.
Or was this guy worth the shit he was wrapped in? Merlin.
No, man. And actually,
Did Merlin ride the UFO?
Did Merlin ride the UFO? That's a good one. Do you think Merlin rode the UFO? You can go to unbelieverspodcast.com, answer that poll. And I know I mentioned that a lot of the oldsters featured in this, because this is from the 90s. A lot of them have passed. And of course, we know Merlin has passed. I will say I'm happy to report, though, from Taylor, that Mike Brown and Roger Mexico, they're still out there. They're doing their thing. You can actually go buy this DVD at alienhighway.com. This movie. You can find it at places, but you can go buy the DVD. They're still out there. I know Taylor was actually in touch with them, and he showed me right before this that he told them we were doing this episode. So, hey, thanks a lot for that. But that'll be it. Go to this week's poll. Did Merlin fly on a UFO? And we're going to get out now with a song that was featured in this documentary. And George Norrie, he would love this. It's an Elvis impersonator singing inside the little alien. Enjoy.
Shut up. Okay, doesn't say anything about being shot.
Hi guys, you're here. We're here. That's it.
It could be the private security force whacking us. Oh, I wonder if it's
I'm sorry?
Oh, wow.
That was beautiful.
That was great. Yeah, that was an actual Elvis impersonator at the Little Alien, crooning for all the people featured in this documentary. Wow. I had a lot of fun with this. I love these old 90s docs. I know we kind of stuck in this little hole of these, but as far as Area 51, these guys were pretty OG, committed to showing stuff. This is before people were talking about rushing in or anything like that. And they were, this was before Independence Day came out, which really put Area 51 on the map and blew up the spot, right?
Honestly, I think it was a better time to be interested in this kind of stuff back then. It wasn't co-opted by big entertainment companies at this point. I mean, yeah, you had science fiction, but true believers out there who were willing to go out in the desert and sit in a tent with Bob Lazar. This was the humble beginnings of stuff like that. I don't even know, is this even predate Coast to Coast?
No, Coast to Coast would have been going on, but they give no credence. They got their own guy. They got their own.
They don't even mention Coast to Coast, which I thought was a little odd. And that's
Billy
why
Goodman, that was their guy.
Yeah.
They're like, we have our own guy.
Yeah, so it's a really nice slice of that time when there still was a lot of magic in the world, because in a lot of ways it's been diminished by the internet. a lot of things have been solved. People don't talk about Bermuda Triangle at all anymore. Like that thing's been kind of really diminished. And Stonehenge.
It seemed like such a threat. It was like the paranormal quicksand of the 80s.
Right.
It really was. Like we really
exactly.
thought, like, I'm not getting near that thing.
Yeah, and largely Stonehenge has been replaced by sites like Göbekli Tepe as far as curiosity goes. The alien question continues to be pondered. The Bigfoot goalpost continually moved, but back then there was still a lot of magic and wonder to this kind of stuff, and it was a real treat if you came across a video that was like this one back then. It wasn't all over the place. So really great slice of history here. I make fun, but like these guys all contributed to something we enjoy so thoroughly now. And, they laid the building blocks, every one of them adding a stone to the great steps that we wander up and off to into this fringe world. So thanks to all of them,
It's a bummer seeing him as, kind of getting pushed out of that big Independence Day premiere. It's like, just because Jeff Goldblum's there, and there was a whole time capsule they were putting out there. I don't know what Jeff Goldblum was putting something in there, but they did not want anything to do with Merlin being there or any of them.
Probably the chaos theory.
I wonder if they take the time capsule up or is it still there?
I don't know. I need to look into that. There are a few threads I didn't pull on this, and one of them would be that. Is that answer this week's poll is the time? No, stick with the poll we got. That's it. And this has been fun. It's been a lot of fun, but we're gonna move on now to everyone's third favorite segment. What would that be, Pete?
Poll results.
This week's poll was Madison menstruating during the St. Francisville experiment, and the choices were yes, no, typical, or other. I'm going to ask you, Brendan Shay, what do you think the Unbelievers said?
Yes.
All right. How about you, Pete?
I'm going to roll the dice and say no.
Oh, sorry to both of you. With 71% of the vote, typical men came up as the winner. But of course, there are others. Was Madison menstruating during the St. Francisville experiment? For every menstruation, someone somewhere knows the answer. Perhaps a person is watching tonight. Perhaps it is you. Signed, Ramadis. Thank you, Ramadis. Was Madison menstruating during the St. Francisville experiment? I'm not sure, but I'll have you know that menstruation jokes are never funny. Period. Signed, Unbeliever Josh. Thank you, Unbeliever Josh. You get it. There's a little period joke there. This is pretty good. Was Madison menstruating during the St. Francisville experiment? God damn it. Let me smell her. Let me smell you guys. Signed, Community Dog. I think that was a callback to...
Let me smell it. Let me smell you guys.
Smell it.
Thank you, Community Dog. Coming in with the great sound clips. Was Madison menstruating during the St. Francisville experiment? Whoa now. Questions like that are a good way to get a woman to personally come to your house and kick your ass. Don't ask women. Signed, Corrupted Mask. Whoa. All right. Corrupted Mask. Wait. What's going to happen? Someone's going to... Wait, what are they... All right, let me find it here.
I will personally come to your house and kick your ass.
Oh, no. And he says, don't
ask women.
Thank you, Corrupted Mask. Coming in strong. Was Madison menstruating during the St. Francisville experiment? I don't know about Madison, but my old dad came home covered in blood. He said, we're not talking about it, period. You do the math. Signed, of course, Scared of My Dad guy coming in. All right, people like
Scared
the
of My
period.
Dad guy.
Thank you, Scared of My Dad guy.
Ask women.
I don't know why that works, but it does. Was Madison menstruating during the St. Francisville experiment? Aunt Flo was in town. It was like Shark Week down there. If she had died, her ghost would be wearing period clothing. Signed, Left-handed buckle grabber. Wow. Of course he was.
I remember gripping my belt buckle with my left hand, I think it was.
And I appreciate the period clothing reference. One of my favorite references of all time. Good job. Left-handed buckle grabber.
That was a good one.
That is a good one. Was Madison menstruating during the St. Francisville experiment? Not full of beans here, but it was a waterfall out that Virginia. Watch out, it spits. It's not like a secret. By the way, Skullfuck Charles says hi. Whoa, that's a very old school reference. Skullfuck Charles guy. Oh, wow. All right, not full of beans. I don't have full of beans. I couldn't find it. Rob wouldn't give it to me, but
You know, they like to be kind of like a secret.
thank you to a Gray on the Roof with the, by the way, Skullfuck Charles says hi. Ooh, ominous and old school. Thank you so much. Gray on the Roof. Was Madison menstruating during the St. Francisville experiment? Sorry, my appearances on poll results have been spotty. Things have been a bit irregular. I was used to these episodes being monthly, but I'm back and I have stats to pad. Also, Madison was definitely menstruating, period. Signed, Thinler's Lisp. Thank you. Yes, we are putting episodes out a little more.
Good one.
We are putting them out a little more regularly, not once a month, much like Madison's period would be, I guess. I guess that's what he's referencing. Apologies for being so crass in this. This wasn't my idea. Was Madison menstruating during the St. Francisville experiment? Do all women's areolas smell? More research needed. Signed, the damn creeps.
What the fuck?
All right, look, I was looking for some of you damn creeps. I looked up the damn creeps. I couldn't find it, but I don't know why you get this.
If you don't shut up, I'll.
Thank you, the damn creeps. Was Madison menstruating during the St. Francisville experiment? Lean in close and smell it. Okay.
Smell it.
That was from Sea Market Shenanigans. Thank you, Sea Market Shenanigans. Was Madison menstruating during the St. Francisville experiment? Yes, that's why all the ghost was in period clothing. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Unbelievable Penguin. Those might be tied for me, and mentioning those. Those are great. Thank you, Unbelievable Penguin. Oh, was Madison menstruating during the St. Francisville experiment? How are you going to put a guy on the team who's never actually chased a ghost? We need to know if someone sees a floating lantern. It's not getting away from them. Signed, Dick Lycan and Aerosol Telfer. Oh, old school buddies, Dick Lycan and Aerosol Telfer. But I got one for you.
That's a floating lantern. You're not getting away from me.
Thank you, Dick Lycan and Aerosol Telfer. Was Madison menstruating during the St. Francisville experiment? Quote, it was the smell of her areolas. Drea Mora at 3408. Signed, host quotes. All right, I'll have to pull that host quotes. But yes, that's the areola reference. I guess Drea said that last week. Yeah, we missed Drea this week. But yes, okay, host quotes. Good one. I don't have it, though. Was Madison menstruating during the St. Francisville experiment? Smashing Psychics is the name of my Smashing Pumpkins cover band. Signed, Whooping Hooper. Thank you, Whooping Hooper. I don't know if I have the Hooper that was hooping. Do I? Let's see. I try to getting all the clips and doing the raw part of this is difficult. I don't think I have your Whooping Hooper clip. So I'll go to the next one. Oh, was Madison menstruating during the St. Francisville experiment? Oh, what happened? Signed, Unbeliever Carol. Thank you, Unbeliever Carol. And of course, I'll give you both of them at the same time. Here we go. And of course...
What happened? I don't know.
Thank you, Unbeliever Carol, for chiming in. Was Madison menstruating during the St. Francisville experiment? I'm not screaming again. They just say. Thank you, Crouching Tiger, Vicious Crab Person. Whoa, Crouching Tiger, Vicious Crab Person. Thank you. Was in the final one for tonight. Was Madison menstruating during the St. Francisville experiment? I don't want this poll. Goodbye, poll. Signed, MTV's The Max. And, of course, referencing...
Get out of the way. I'm dropping the book. I don't want it. Goodbye, book.
And, man, talk about perfect timing. MTV's The Max. The final one, saying goodbye, poll. I'm going to say as well, so many good ones tonight. Thanks to everyone for chiming in. Like I said, when these polls go up, these will be up before the episodes go out. You can click a link in the description of the episode. Go chime in on polls. So many good ones. I don't know. Pete, give me one that you liked a lot.
All right, it's a four-way toss-up for me, dude. I can't decide. It's trying to decide between hot dogs and hamburgers here. You ready? Here we go. First off, Community Dog.
Okay, community dog with Let Me Smell Her. Let me smell you guys. That was a pretty good one. And what other ones you got? You have a few, I think.
Yeah, I just touched 3 more. We got Corrupted Mask.
Corrupted Mask with Whoa Now. Questions like that are a good way to get a woman to personally come to your house and kick your ass. Don't ask women. And I actually like that a lot too. Corrupted Mask has been killing it a lot on poll results.
Ask women.
I'll say so too. Let Brendan come in with one. Brendan, which one do you like?
I like the left-handed belt buckle. That one, the period clothing one.
I remember gripping my belt buckle with my left hand, I think it was.
Yes, the left-handed buckle grabber. Oh, God damn it. Where's his? Let's see. There's a bunch of them. Aunt Flo was in town. It was like Shark Week down there. If she had died, her ghost would be wearing period clothing, left-handed buckle grabber. There were a few period clothing references. That might have been my favorite.
That was a good one. Because
that was a solid one. Yeah. That was a solid one, and I feel like I got to give some honorable mentions to some people. I know Josh came in first with, I'm not sure, but I'll have you know that menstruation jokes are never funny, period. Thank you, Josh.
Yeah, that was a good one, too.
I like that one a lot. Do all women's areolas smell? More research needed from the damn creeps. And now, yes. So Drea mentioned that in this. Smashing Psychics is the name of my Smashing Pumpkins cover band. Whooping Hooper coming in strong. I really liked MTV's The Max. I don't want this poll. Goodbye poll, because he mentions the Goodbye book. That you'll get the honorable mention in this, but I think we can kind of all agree, right? We like left-handed buckle grabber. You think that's his?
Yeah, I think that's solid, man. Solid.
All right, let's do it. Well, congratulations. With Aunt Flo was in town. It was like Shark Week down there. If she had died, her ghost would be wearing period clothing from...
I remember gripping my belt buckle with my left hand, I think it was.
Well, congratulations. You just won this week's poll results. All right. Well, we've come to the end of the program. Before we go, Brendan Shay, do you have anything you would like to say or plug?
No, that was a really funny episode. I had a good time.
All right. Well, thank you for being on again, Brendan. Always a pleasure having you. And Peter McCarthy, do you have anything you would like to say or plug?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I want to thank you both very much. I had a wonderful time. A little rough around the edges, but I appreciate you guys being cool with it. I also want to say thank you to everybody listening. If you have the opportunity, check out Dark Sayings on YouTube. I've been a little lazy lately, but I've been working on some pretty sweet essays I'm posting soon. So thank you very much yet again. Have a great night.
Yeah, great having you on here. And, I appreciate you being on, Pete. Pete does a lot of live streams with me. You can go to the Unbelievers YouTube channel. Pete is always jumping on live streams with me. It's a lot of fun having him. And I'll give my plugs for tonight. I want to plug Silk City Hot Sauce. Go check out the Psychic Bigfoot Hot Sauce from our buddies at Silk City Hot Sauce. And I don't know, go subscribe on YouTube or go sign up to our Patreon, do all that stuff. Thank you so much. The Unbelievers podcast hosts today were Brendan Shay, Peter McCarthy, and me, Russ Ryan. Our editor is Issa YZ. You can join our Patreon by going to patreon.com/Unbelievers podcast for monthly bonus episodes and more. You can follow the show on Twitter at Unbelievers Pod and Instagram at Unbelievers Podcast. Our Facebook group is the Unbelievable Podcast Network. And check out our merch store at TeePublic. The link is in the description. Our music advisor is Pandora3373. Our official composer and theme song creator is Unbeliever Aaron, a.k.a. Aaron Shilb. Follow him on Instagram at the Aaron Shilb. Our official graphic designer and card maker, designer logo is Raymond Roel. Check out his work at Harley Warren Art on Twitter and harleywarren.com on the internet. Our official Guardian of the Benches at Kraken Stacker. Our official Alien Bopper is Nunchuck Bob. And from Patreon, our official Reptilian at the post office is Postal Patty. Our official Unbelievers extraterrestrial woman still waiting for hashtag rubbing heads to trend and has something very cool coming this Crescent Moon. Our official Reverend Doctor of the podcast is the non-Newtonian Druid. Our official Big Island paranormal friendly weatherman, Green Finhawk. Our official procrastinator is Jeffrey Hartner Riff. Our official Baby Yoda publicist is Pam Z. Our official Unbelievers listening between the stations for a message from Marbella Scott E. Official Unbeliever Racing Pakwudgies is Joe Filler. Our official Madman is Unbeliever Adam. Our official Unbelievers Time Travel is Taylor Nelson. Our official Ghost Hunter is Amelia Childs and Hubie Halloween and all the rest. Our official Senior European Correspondent is Kay Mill of the I Don't Know podcast. Our official Art Curator is Isis Haynes. Our official paranormal Rod is Rod Guy. Our Unbelievers and Needle titles are Mike Henry, Todd X, Liv Vicious, Sandra Deborah Foles, Ramiro, Trash Baby, Adam Dorak, Retroid Josh, and this week's Unbelievers focus is, oh my God, it's been a long night. Our official Unbelievers focus is Azhar from Instagram, who was curious if we would do a show about the Trump shooting conspiracy theories. And I will say, definitely no. I'm pretty sure that it was just a lone gunman. But after tonight, I am open to the idea that
It could be their private security force, Wackenhut.
good night.
Discontinue! Discontinue!